students, my name is Anita Sharma and I am a NET qualified English lecturer. Welcome to my YouTube channel Learn Literature. So students, in this video I am going to cover clause. Now what is this clause? Clause is a part of a sentence. So if you want to know about sentence formation, then you must know about clause. Clause helps you to make sentences. It helps you to make sentence formation. Now let's begin this topic. Clause. First of all, the definition. Clause is a group of words that contain a set of subject and a verb. So it is a set of subject and verb. Like sentence. A sentence has also subject and verb, and it also has a subject and verb. It may be a part of a sentence or a sentence in itself. So if there is a sentence, we can say it a clause, but we may call it a part of a sentence also. I will explain you this later with some examples. It gives full information, but it is not necessary in all types of clauses. Clause is dependent on sentence to give its full meaning. Now what is the meaning of this definition? Let's have a look at some examples, then I'll explain you. I think you have noted down this definition in your notebook. Now let's have a look at some examples. So the first example is the child cries. The child cries. Now you can say this, the child is subject and cries is a verb. Now we are understanding here that the child is crying means who is crying? Child. Child is our subject and cries is a verb. It is an action verb. So here subject and verb is given. So it is a set of subject and verb. We can say it a clause and we can say it a sentence also. Look at this. There is one sentence. The child cries. So it is a sentence as well as a clause. Now what is the difference between sentence and clause? Further I will tell you. Then look at the second example. I visited the town. I visited the town where they met. Where they met. Now look at this. In this sentence, I is subject and visited is a verb. And in the same way, they is the subject and met is a verb. I visited the town. There is one sentence. Where they met, there is another sentence. They met. They is the subject and met is a verb. So we can say it that this sentence has two clauses. There are two set of subject and verb. So we can say that this sentence has two clauses. So our definition was a clause is a sentence in itself or it may be a part of a sentence. Now you came to know about clause. In the first example, clause is a full sentence. And in the second example, it is a part of a sentence. Okay. Now, third example. Again, we observe that clause gives you full meaning or it is not necessary that always clause give you full meaning. Now, let's have a look. First of all, I am writing here, I hate Tom. I hate Tom who always complains. Who always complains. Look at this example. I hate Tom who always complains. Now in this sentence, I is our subject and hate is a verb. Who always complains, again this is one sentence, and in this who is a subject and complains is a verb. So we can say that in this sentence there are two clauses. There are two set of subject and verb. Now if I say I hate Tom, then message is conveyed. If I rub this, now the sentence is I hate Tom. So you tell me if there is one sentence. Yes, of course. This is one full sentence. I hate Tom. And it gives you full meaning. It is a clause also because it is a subject and verb. It is a set of subject and verb. So it is a clause also. So this clause is giving you full meaning. Now I am writing here. Suppose I rub it. And I write where they met. Where they met. Now tell me, are you getting the full meaning? Where they met? We don't know. Where they met. What is this meaning? So again, this is one clause also because there is one subject and there is a verb. Or let's suppose I am writing here example of Tom. I hate Tom who always complains. Who always complains. Now I am taking this example. Who always complains. Who always complains. Now tell me, are you getting the full meaning? Who always complains? No, we are not getting the full meaning. But if I write, I hate Tom, then I am getting the full meaning. I hate Tom who always complains. It means that a clause can give you full meaning or it may give you half knowledge, half meaning. So this is one clause and it is another clause. We can say it principal clause. Principal clause or independent clause. Independent clause. And this one is dependent clause. Dependent clause or subordinate clause. Subordinate clause. Why? Because this clause is depend on this principal clause. If I rub this, then there is no meaning. Who always complains. Then this clause gives you no meaning. But if I write I hate Tom, then this sentence is complete. Then these two clauses are giving me full meaning. So if there is one sentence, there is one clause who helps other clause to get full meaning, then this clause will be principal clause or independent clause. And that clause who is depend on other clause, that is dependent clause or subordinate clause. Now I am writing here other examples of dependent clause. Dependent clause. So you have understood there are other clauses also. There are kinds of clauses. I am writing here. These are principal clause. First of all, principal clause. Second one is subordinate clause. Subordinate clause. And third one is coordinate clause. Coordinate clause. In this video, I will tell you about principal clause and coordinate clause. I will explain you subordinate clause in my next video because it has also three kinds. So let's have a look at principal clause. Principal clause is very easy and you can understand it in a very quick way. Principal clause, or we can call it independent clause. Independent clause. Again I am taking the same example. I hate Tom who always complains. Who always complains. Students, this is example. I hate Tom who always complains. So you can see I is subject and hate is verb. Who is a subject and complains is a verb. Who is a relative pronoun and who is related to Tom. Who always complains? Who complains? Tom complains. I hate Tom who always complains. So if I rub this, I hate Tom, then we are getting the meaning. I hate Tom means it is an independent clause or principal clause because it doesn't need any other clause to complete its meaning. So it is a principal clause, right? If I am writing here, I visited the town where they met. Where they met. So again, in this example, I is the subject and visited is a verb. And they met. They is the subject and met is a verb. So there are two clauses in one sentence. I visited the town where they met. So if I rub this, if I rub the second clause, then are you getting the point? I visited the town. Yes, of course. We are getting the full meaning. I visited the town. So it doesn't need any other clause to complete its meaning. So we can say that it is a principal clause. Now you have understood that principal clause is that clause which doesn't need any other clause to complete its meaning. It is independent. It is not dependent on other clause, right? Now the second clause. Second clause is subordinate clause. Subordinate clause. In subordinate clause, we can call it dependent clause. Dependent clause. Students, look at the same example. I hate Tom who always complains. Who always complains. So again, I is the subject, hate is a verb, and who is the subject and complain is a verb. So if I rub this principal clause, then tell me, are you getting the same meaning? Who always complains? Are you getting the full meaning? Who always complains? No, we are not getting the full meaning. Who always complains? But if I write here, I hate Tom, then this sentence is complete. Then these two clauses are giving me full meaning. So it means that subordinate clause is that clause which needs other clause to complete its meaning. And it is also called dependent clause. This clause is dependent on this clause. I hate Tom. Now I am going to explain you other example. I visited the town. I visited the town where they met. Where they met. Now look at this. So I told you that this one is principal clause. It is a principal clause and this one is subordinate clause. How? Where they met. Suppose if I rub this. So I have deleted this. Now where they met. Are you getting the meaning? Where they met? No. But if I write here, I visited the town or I visited the place where they met, then I am getting full meaning. So it means that subordinate clause needs another clause to complete its meaning. This is subordinate clause. Students, I think you are understanding all the stuffs that I am telling you. Now come to the third clause, coordinate clause. Coordinate clause. Now what is this? I love books. I love books, but I hate reading. I hate reading. Now look at this sentence. In this sentence, I is our subject and love is a verb. And in this sentence, in this clause, I is our subject and hate is a verb. I love books but I hate reading. Students, this is one sentence, and in this sentence there are two clauses. I love books but I hate reading. So you can see here, if I rub this, suppose if I rub this. So is this a full sentence? I love books. Yes, of course. I love books. This is a full sentence. But if I rub this and I write here, I hate reading. I hate reading. Then, are you getting the full meaning? Yes, I am getting the full meaning. I hate reading. It means that a coordinate clause is a set of two clauses which are coordinating clauses. Means which needs not to include other clause to complete its meaning. Both clauses are independent clauses. Both clauses are principal clauses. I love books, but I hate reading. Means this one is our principal clause. It needs not to include, needs not to take help from the other clause to complete its meaning. And in the same way, I hate reading. Again, this one is also principal clause, and it needs not to include, it needs not to take help from the other clause to complete its meaning. Both these are principal clause, independent clause. So now you came to know about coordinate clause, that coordinate clauses are those clauses which have two principal clauses. So friends, these are some of the examples of principal clause, subordinate clause and coordinate clause. In my next video, I'll upload some examples and some kinds of subordinate clause. Till then, keep watching, keep learning. Thank you.